goosebumps every time you say.
You switched up, Pete.
I did. My bad. I tell you what, we'll throw the away days back up another time. But we're here. We're here for away days, the big match preview, a little cut on the goosebumps. Some will be disappointed, some may well not be. Particularly for Jimmy Moore's in the chat, that's for sure. But
Yes.
We're here anyway. Apologies, we're 1 or 2 minutes late. Me and Daz were having a bit of a football manager chat, and actually, I was playing it, and I shared it with Daz, and I was talking him through what I was doing in the game anyway, and we were having a bit of chat about that. But let's talk about the real football.
But do we have to?
We do, Daz, and the reason why is because. Again, as we say every single week, there is another massive game on Sunday. Newcastle United travel to Stamford Bridge, and we've got Chelsea boys that are going to be joining us very shortly. Don and Charlie. Of course, they've just had a match tonight and won very, very comfortably against Panathinaikos. Look really good, to be fair, and we'll get their thoughts on it when they join. So they're just wrapping up their Chelsea end of things, and then they'll be coming and joining us. But Daz, just as we wait for Chris, hopefully he can make it. I know he's got some Wi-Fi issues, but he's in the chat. Let's talk about a couple of things that have come out today, Newcastle United related. Let's talk about it. Why not?
Shout out to Chris and him showing us his fabulous hotel that he's staying in Newcastle tonight, and then he can't get onto the Wi-Fi.
Typical. But look, don't worry about it, because we'll discuss it, and I'm sure Chris will be in the chat with his thoughts and opinions as well. Let's start with the news that I think surprised a lot of people. From Craig Hope, it's part of his exclusive confidential piece. Ultimately, we were told that with Gordon signing a new contract, that Isak wouldn't be far behind. But ultimately, we're hearing this, that Alexander Isak's contract isn't being discussed at all. In fact, as what Craig Hope's put in his piece today is that it's actually ceased and there's no negotiations for a new contract at all. Rumours to be said that Alexander Isak is unsure of the project at Newcastle United, which is making him hesitant on signing a new deal, and that in turn has alerted the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea as interested parties to Alexander Isak. Now, certainly not the news that we were expecting to be hearing Thursday evening before a big game at Stamford Bridge. But what are your thoughts on that, Daz? It's come out of nowhere. Craig Hope, some people like him, some people don't, some people believe him, some people don't, with what he puts out. Interesting, very, very interesting news from Alexander Isak Thursday evening, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I've seen the headlines really, and people commenting, and I haven't got to read the article fully yet. But it is strange, let's say. There's a lot of moving parts actually today with the articles coming out. So it's tell me more about it, Peter. Is it a case that Newcastle aren't going down the route of talking with a new contract with him yet, or is it a bit of Isak's hesitant because we're not moving fast enough and he's having doubts? What way is the article lining up?
It seems like it's a bit of both, Daz. I've got to be honest. I think from what it says is that Craig Hope has mentioned that Newcastle and Isak, they tentatively had conversations at the back end of last season about a potential new deal. Then at that point, it's kind of gone quiet. At this point now, Isak's party are basically saying they're not convinced of where the project's going or moving as quickly as they anticipated. That's alerted the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea to the potential. Obviously, we had the issue in the summer where there was murmurs of a potential move to Chelsea. That's not really played a part in his article, but the talk is that there's currently no talks at all with Isak. And Newcastle United are comfortable with the fact that he's still got 3 years left on his deal till 2028. and that they're basically sitting still at this moment in time. Now, some people might say, well, yeah, you know, Newcastle United have got 3 years left on this deal. They've still got a significant amount of time on his contract that in which he will be committed to. Some people see it as a concern because if we don't get the deal done and we sign him up for a longer term contract, that teams are going to be sniffing in the summer. Like, well, where do you see that? Are you in which camp are you in with regards to that? Whether nailing him down now will solidify him, or being quite comfortable with the fact he's got 3 years left on his deal? Like, how do you see it, mate?
Look, ideally, I want him to sign a new contract, and then we know he's with us then, and he's 110% committed. But I think there's a lot of things going on at the moment. You're asking me about it specifically about Isak here, but like I think we're kind of getting to a stage that we're at a crossroads. Like let's see how things play out on the next couple of games, but we're and for the rest of the season, if we don't get Europe. There'll be question marks, big, massive question marks, whether we're going to be whether if we're going to stick with Eddie and stick with the project. Look at there's a lot of talk about the game against Brighton where we played really well in parts of the pitch, but not up front. We can't score a goal these days. Then like there's to me, this kind of we could go in another direction. We could go with the direction. Stick with Eddie. Maybe we get Europe. Maybe we don't. We stick with Eddie. We keep continuing the way we're going. We try and retain all our current players, apart from the ones that we need to offload. There's a few of them as well. Or we pivot, and it's a mini rebuild. With Paul Mitchell leading the charge there, that maybe we look to bring in a different manager. Then Mancini is probably a topic that you're going to bring up as well. Parting ways with Saudi, and then maybe you'd look to they'll need the funds to as in PSR. Headroom funds to go bankroll that for with the new manager, with new ideas, and so on and so forth. Throw in the stadium talk as well, whether we're going to be moving to build a new stadium, whether we're going to be expanding St. James Park, whatever we're doing there. I think 2025 it could be a year of potential big change. What do we want? I don't know. I think there's a lot riding on the next couple of games and how we perform the rest of the season as to the direction we're going to go in with a lot of that. So then look, then we if that was to happen, I'm playing out in multiple different scenarios here now. I'm rambling on a bit, but then we maybe we do offload one of our big stars. It probably won't be Gordon. We've have to tie him down to long-term contract, and if we sell Isak, then who are we going to bring in to replace him? And we don't want to see him go to the likes of Arsenal or anyone else in the Premier League, because that would just be a nightmare. So there's a lot. I know you asked about Isak, but there's a lot of things twisting around. Maybe it'll all be grand. Maybe we'll start scoring goals. Maybe we'll start getting a few points. Maybe we'll go on a bit of a run, move up the table, and happy days. But if we don't, what way does it go?
Well, this is the thing. Ultimately, we need the team playing well. We need the team scoring goals. We need the team picking up 3 points. And currently, I think a lot of this stuff around Isak and everything else is creating a bit of a storm. Because those things aren't happening, it's now turning our focus into things away from the pitch. And so these things have more weight as an argument and as a conversation. For me, I've always been kind of adamant that I think one big player will leave in the summer. I thought it might be Gordon or Isak. Gordon signed a new deal, so that means it's more likely. So I did have a concern that Isak would maybe be the one. But I thought if we got Champions League football or Europa League football at the very least, it might well keep a player like that for the season.
Yeah.
The way we're playing right now, it doesn't look like that we'll be in that conversation, but that could change very quickly. And as you said, As getting points on the board will change our mindset and the players' mindsets very quickly. If we go on a run, and I'm not talking about this weekend or next weekend, Chelsea and Arsenal are very, very tough games, but if we go on a run up until Christmas where we pick significant points up, everybody's mindset changes, including players, including Isaacs, in terms of where we're going. Things aren't
And
going
someone in the transfer window as well, Pete, just to boost it as well, give everyone a lift. That was look, we all wanted players in as well, but I'm sure they wanted a bit of a new lease of life as well, a bit from the summer after the whole as well. Is everyone up for sale in the summer? The whole PSR debacle at the end of June, like having someone come in there. I know we had Kelly coming in, but like there was the whole. We don't need to go over it again. The summer there wasn't. But sorry, Pete, go on.
No, absolutely. So all those things could well play into our hands and give us the positivity that we need. That's the key. So it's a case of let's wait and see with Isak. We do hold the cards. Even if we were going to sell him, I think we'd sell him for a significant amount of money, a squad changing level of money. That's the key. But yeah, Charlie, of course he is. He'll be on shortly. As I said, Chelsea boys doing their thing. They've just finished
Greek kebabs as well. Yeah,
there you go. They've just finished destroying Panathinaikos, so they'll be over very shortly. But look, we'll talk Chelsea very, very, very soon. But let's kind of just hold off from Isak. There's a reason why Cardi didn't tweet out when that news came out, because that's something that is very much subject to change with Isak's situation. The one thing that I think won't change is this a story that
that'll
came
never
out
change.
Very much straight afterwards, and I think I knew you'd be in agreement with me as well on this, Daz. Another exclusive from Craig Hope: Callum Wilson's return to injury is set to be delayed. He felt a tightness in his muscle and is likely to miss the next 3 games. So we're now not going to see him until the next international break, which is at the end of November, West Ham at home. That's the next time we're planning now to see Callum Wilson. For me, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. People will argue it's not his fault. He can't control his body, this, that, and the other. And I've been a massive supporter. We all have, Daz, Chris. Yeah. All 3 of us have been massive supporters of Callum Wilson. We've been frustrated supporters, but supporters nonetheless. But this is not good enough. Like we're struggling here. We're having to throw Isak in time and time again. No alternative. And now we're going through Chelsea twice, Arsenal, and Forest away, which is now a difficult game because of how well they're playing. And we're now in a position where we're having to ask Isak to play every single game and pretty much every single minute. Like, are you as frustrated as I am, mate?
I was frustrated the last season with Callum Wilson, and only for he got injured before we had the opportunity to sell him. I think he would be gone. I think we would have brought in someone else then. I think Eddie was probably. I'm guessing he was ready to pull the trigger and offload him as well. But yeah, he got injured too soon. Or did they take the decision to give for him to have the operation? Was that it? Then maybe they didn't actually. Maybe they didn't have decided that we had to keep him. Then
I think the way it went in the summer is that we had loads of murmurings when we covered the full loaded transfer show in June that he was going to be sold. That was kind of the murmurs. But when they come back from pre-season early July. It then turned out because he actually trained in Germany. We saw the pictures. He was training in Germany when Paul Mitchell first turned up, and they had the picture where they're all standing around in sort of like a semicircle. All the big hitters, including Eddie Howe,
all friends
at that point. Wilson was training. Then all of a sudden, injury, needed surgery, was going to be out for 5 weeks. Well, that 5 weeks is spanned into nearly close to 10 weeks. Maybe we'll be beyond that by the time that we see him fit. Lewis Miley's been injured and then recovered in that time. during that time, and he was going to be out for like 12 weeks. So it's not acceptable. For me, I don't know what you think, Daz. I know what people in the chat think. And look, we will get to the match preview in just a second, but these topics are really important for Newcastle United conversation. At this point now, signing a striker is just as high a priority as signing a right winger. We need massive attacking like emphasis coming in January. This is now a priority window for me, absolutely priority. But what are your thoughts, Daz?
No, I definitely think like all the talk we had with Sammy there was yesterday about going back in for Gay. It's a right winger and a striker to take the heat off Isak is definitely needed. Like, because we're going to have Botman coming back and Lascelles at some stage as well as an option. If obviously we have Shar there as it is, so I think. The need for a centre back isn't as right side of centre back isn't as big as the right winger and someone to help Isak, because Isak needs help, especially he's coming back from injury and we know that he is that he's not going to really play Asulu. Yeah, William Asulu. Asula even, yeah. So yeah, we need someone else.
Could he help, Daz? Could he help?
No, he can't help. even though he did play well against us, and he holds the ball up and but no, I don't want to be going down that direction with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. No, still, no. There has to be other options, younger options as well. But someone Eddie's going to play though as well. If we're sticking with Eddie.
Well, I mean, I think Eddie would play him, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if we were to sign him. But Jimmy, we're not quite sold on that yet. Although I'm probably more sold on it than Daz now, which is a bit of a 360 for me. But look, you know, who to get in. I was on Potts' channel earlier on today, and I suggested this man here, Jonathan David.
You must be on holiday, are you? You're on holiday. You haven't mentioned it.
No. I didn't mention it. Hey, technically, I did not mention this. But Jonathan David is a player that we could look at now. The big question is that, you know, can we prize him away from Lille, which sounds strange, but they've just gone and thumped Atletico Madrid in their own stadium last night, and he got on the score sheet on the back of that. He's playing well at the moment, and so you know that's going to be the big question. He'll have 6 months left on his contract in January. You know, what kind of fee could we put down to get him out of there? It's clear that we've been interested in him. We've been scouting him by all accounts, even this season. Is there a case of we put 20 million down, even with 6 months left on his contract? Would you put 20 million down on a player like that? 24 years old, Canadian international. Is that
definitely? And well, what does his agent want? Remember the talk about his agent wanting a massive fee as well. But yeah, yeah, that's crazy. But he's going to be in demand. He's going to be massively in demand now after scoring in the Champions League and stuff as well. And it's going to be tough to get him. Where are those hidden gems though? Go
on, guys. I was going to say, is this too much to get both?
Yeah,
is that going too far? We need to get, you know,
that's if you're if Isak was going out the door, then you'd have to be getting at least 2 in.
Or could you? And this is just a scenario here, like not likely to happen, but it's just a scenario to put out there. You sell Callum Wilson in January, wherever and for however much. You loan out Asula. For me, I'd be sending him back to Sheffield United and saying, right, play every minute, be the main man, score them the goals that gets them into the playoffs at least. And then you've got 2 spots available, a Wilson spot and a Asula spot. Now, Jonathan David can play out wide as well as up top. He mostly plays up top, but then you've got a target man as another option. Is it out the realms of possibility? you're probably paying 30 million to get both out the door, potentially. Just saying, is it out the realms of possibility that we can entice both to the club, particularly if we're getting rid of Wilson's wages and we're moving him on and we get a small fee for it? I don't know. I mean, if we got 10 million for Wilson, 8 to 10 million, you're probably going to be paying that for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's on the equal amount of the contract left. He's got 6 months.
Who will in turn get injured then, and he'll be our new Wilson. You know, that's I don't trust his injury record then.
18 months without getting injured.
Yeah, but still don't trust him.
Okay.
No, I know you'll be. Look, if we ever does rock up at Newcastle, I will get behind them and support them. Of course, I will. But I think this there has to be other options out there. Where are these gems, Paul? I was just having a long day today. All the names are going on in my head. Paul Mitchell, where he should be. He's in place now for a while. So show us these gems, hidden gems, and get them into Newcastle and try and convince Eddie to give them a shot as well.
We shall see. What we have done is we've noticed the tunes in the chat. Anyone that's just come in or hasn't put a tune on the chat, go and spam the chat right now. Go and spam it with a tune. If you've already put it in, I think we've already put it out there already. So massive thanks to everyone joining the channel. Sorry, I'm stealing it off for just a second. But no, massive thanks to everyone in the chat. Just really quickly, Daz, I'm going to steal it off you one more second. Andy Ford has just come back and said David won't sign for anyone in January window. He's waiting for his contract to run down and bank a fortune on a free transfer. That's a very, very valid point there.
So is his agent.
So will his agent be? Yeah, absolutely. Because not only will they get almost effectively the transfer fee in a signing on fee, the agent will get a fair whack with that. So, could that potentially be the case? And I know Foxy agrees with that. It's an interesting one, a really, really interesting one. But yeah, difficult situation for Newcastle United. Things are not going well off the pitch. Things are not going well on the pitch. There was also an update with regards to the stadium. Craig Hope seems to think that they're starting to get into serious conversations now with regards to the stadium. Still no idea in terms of what way they're going, whether it's a rebuild, whether it's a brand new stadium. But he seems to think that the conversation's getting a little bit more serious in regards to that. So let's wait and see how this one pans out with regards to the stadium and how it kind of manifest into something else. But let's see. Can
I throw another story I saw pop up as well not long before the show? Was about Amanda Stavely and where the leaked texts may have allegedly come from. Being Justin Barnes was the name being mentioned. Mike Ashley, who is, I believe, taking Newcastle to court along with Adidas and his own Sports Direct, taking them to court about the selling of the jerseys and then the Newcastle merchandise are not selling it in these stores. But he's a bit bitter over that. But yeah, just that was an interesting story. And then I was actually listening to a podcast on the way home, driving home from work today, about Amanda and making moves on Spurs. I know it's been talked about for a while, but yeah, Spurs looking for 400 million, valuing themselves at 4 billion for 10%, talk of Amanda trying to get that money together. It's all very, very interesting. I didn't believe it when I heard it before, but I'm starting to believe it a bit more now as that plays out a bit. But interesting times.
Yeah, definitely. All those things coming about, like you said, Man Staley seems to be really angry about how that's come about. From the fact of the article that's been said, it's clear now that it didn't come from her. There were some rumours within the social media network, Newcastle United Twitter, that Amanda Staveley is filtering out tweets and various other things in WhatsApps with regards to her previous involvement with the club as a way of getting back at PIF. Clearly, that's not the case. It's obviously come from Mike Ashley's side of things when he was in conversation with her with regards to the takeover. It's clear that's where it's come from, and he doesn't care. He'll throw Amanda Staveley and Newcastle United and anyone else under the bus if he feels he needs to, because all he wants is money. He'll try and take them to court. He'll want some sort of agreement and payoff, and that's what he looks for. That's what drives him. He's obviously bitter about the fact that the takeover happened. He got his money, and let's be honest, 305 million. I think he got paid for that, but you know we've trebled in value within the 2.5-3 years that we've had the new ownership, and he'll be looking at that and he'll be thinking elements of regret. He would never admit it, but he'll regret what he let go, because although we're going through a difficult period on the pitch and we're not getting the points that we need, the club is going one way and it's going up, and the more investment that comes into the club, the better and the more value that it will hold, and the club is the best it's ever been in the last 15, you could argue maybe even 20 years financially, in the way the club is being looked after. So we are in a good space right now, that is for sure. But look, I think it's a perfect segue now to look at the big match preview. Massive game at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, 2:00 kickoff. And of course, on away days match preview, we get the main guys from the opposition to talk about it. And it's a pleasure to welcome back in Greasy Don.
Hey, Don.
What's happening, man? I've been listening to you guys, having a little bit of a therapy session. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have it.
I know, man. Apologies for my lateness. I wasn't able to get into my StreamYard because I had to do my fan cam, but I managed to get into it now. I've done that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend, man, because you boys have not been looking good this this season. Sorry, no. I'm not gonna lie, you have not been looking good. I was just saying on my fan cam, I'm expecting us to beat you guys. You know what I mean? I just look at your team right now. Anthony Gordon's not really firing. You're conceding goals. I'm not really seeing much. I just kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe is it a time for a change from Eddie Howe? I feel like he's kind of taken you, to where he can sort of take you.
I was waiting for it.
Straight in there, bro. Straight in there, man.
Okay. It was a question I was going to put to you, Don, because I just remember thought back to our conversations before about Poch at the end of last season, because I was thinking Chelsea should stick with Poch, and I know you were going, no way, that's it. Need to change, and I know Chelsea are well experienced in chopping and changing managers. But do you look at that Newcastle now? Like we had Eddie came in, he saved us from relegation. In the next season, he took us, got us into the Champions League positions. In the next season, all the injuries were in Champions League and so on and so forth. We're thinking this season we could get back on that roller coaster again and head in the upward direction. So, are you thinking now that it's time to look at options other than Eddie?
Yeah, man. I just think it's got a bit stale, boys. Don't you think? Like I haven't really watched much of Newcastle this year. Like I caught your game against who was it that you played the other week? It was on TV. I think was it last weekend? Who did you play? Everton. I watched your game against Everton. Yeah. And Gordon missed the penalty. Gordon missed that penalty. Yeah. I had Gordon in my fantasy as well, and this guy was not getting me any points. I just feel like the team right now, your team's gone a bit stale, if that makes sense. I think what Howe did at the beginning was really good, but maybe it's just that time to bring in some fresh ideas. Maybe it's time to bring in a different style of play. You know what I mean? Not this constant pressing where you're getting the likes of Isak and that injured consistently. It seems like Newcastle always seem to have injury problems, and that's what we had last year with Poch, because Poch is all about high intensity. When I spoke about Maresca, when he comes in, I said, you're going to see our injuries minimized because we're not constantly overworking our players. The training is not going to be as intense. Yeah, we've got a new medical team as well, but you have to look at the managers, right? You always have to look at the managers when it comes to keeping players fit. You know what I mean? But you guys can educate me more on what you've liked about your team this year. Obviously, with Chelsea, what I like about us at the minute is that our first team and our second team pretty much play the same. We pretty much play the same, bro. It doesn't matter who comes in and who goes out. They know exactly what's expected from them. And for me, that is very impressive, bro, considering we got Charlie, man. That's very impressive considering Maresca hasn't even been here long. You know what I mean? He's only been here a few months. Obviously, he had a whole preseason, but we're not even in the new year. And Charlie, I'm sure Charlie can agree that right now, what we see in the first team, we see the exact same performances with the second team in terms of the build-up, in terms of the sort of chances that we create, the in-game management, the amount of goals that we're scoring as well. So just looking at Newcastle right now, obviously we've got you guys we got you guys twice in a week. I just think we've got too much quality for you guys right now. You know, I'm looking at our confidence. We've got a little bit more confidence after winning today. I don't think the boys walked away from the game against Liverpool disheartened by the loss. I think they were upset, obviously, that they lost, but they can take a lot from that game. And I'll be honest with you, like, if we play like that against lesser opposition, we will win more games. We played like that against the best team in the league. For me, Liverpool are the best team in the league this season so far, right? So if we play like that against the likes of Newcastle, who aren't at that level, we should be beating you this weekend, bro. I'm expecting a W. I can't lie. I'm not trying to be arrogant or cocky here. I'm just looking at how we're playing and how you're playing. I'm expecting us to beat
you. Yeah.
We don't mind being the underdogs. Go back to that used to suit us well.
we normally are, but like, look, I have to say, from my perspective, I'm not surprised you're confident. I'm not surprised because we're not in a good moment. Haven't won in 4. We've dropped down to 8th in the league, which is not the worst in the world. We're only a few points on moving up the table with a win or a draw. But we're not sinking at the moment, and it's been a weird one because at the beginning of the season we weren't playing well, but we were picking up points and we're picking up wins more importantly. But it's a weird one because what we're doing now, and Daz, correct me if I'm wrong or if I missed anything out, feel free to drop in, is that I see the way we are now is that we are starting to connect. So, like you mentioned about the defense not playing well. I said this on Potter's channel earlier that we're actually the 3rd best defensive record in the Premier League. Defensively, we're not bad. Like we've only conceded 8 goals, which like I say, it's the 3rd best. Only Liverpool and
Arsenal.
It might be Arsenal the same as us. We're both
Arsenal conceded 8 as well. Yeah, we've conceded 10.
Yeah, so we I think there's Liverpool on 3, and then there's another team. It might be Man City. That's
Man City on 9. Man City on 9 goals conceded. Yeah.
So there's another team next second in line, and then we're 3rd. So defensively, we've not been too bad. But the problem is that we've only scored 8 goals, and that's the 3rd or 4th worst in the Premier League in terms of scoring goals. That's our biggest problem at the moment. So like the defense isn't bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. The midfield is just starting to connect, in my opinion. Daz, again,
I agree.
Jump in.
Is it your midfield then? Is your midfield not connecting with the attack? Is that your major problem right now?
Not even that. For me, Tonali's playing well. He's starting to settle in now. He's playing his best football for Italy, but he's just starting to get back to that point where he's
but
playing.
The midfield's decent though, Pete, isn't it? Like if you look at it, like Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joelinton is a decent midfield. Like that's pretty good.
For the last 3 games,
and you've got Lewis Miley to come back as well at some point. Obviously, he won't be back this weekend, will he? Oh, he's back, is he?
Who's the creator in that midfield? Who creates for you lot? Is your creator Tonali then in that midfield?
Well, Bruno's the creator, so it was an interesting one. We talked about a review for the Brighton game. Is that Tonali played in the 6 where Bruno played normally, and Bruno played in the 8. So Bruno was playing further forward to create those little moments on the ball because he loves playing in tight spaces and he can find those little intricate passes. So we're changing it around. Like we created 21 chances at the weekend. We had 6 on target, created 4 big chances in the game.
Did Isak play on the weekend?
Yeah.
Yes, he came back. Yeah.
He missed
just to kind of put it just
one-on-one.
Yeah, just to put it into perspective, if Gordon had scored that penalty, and if we put away at least one of those chances, it would have against Brighton. It would. I don't think Brighton would have had the confidence to go and score on their first shot. they weren't sitting on 17 points up with Villa in fourth spot. Like, so it's those small margins that are just putting the ball in the back of the net. That is our problem in the last couple of games.
I think the right side as well. I mean, like Gordon, good option there. Obviously, Isak in the middle, great. But I look at it, no disrespect to the likes of Murphy or Almiron. That's a real problem. That I know you boys are trying to sign someone, but that's like you've got a decent attack and a decent midfield, but that one position there is massively letting you down. I think it's just a big lack of quality. Whether it's, I mean, look, Murphy's all right, but he's someone you probably play in the cup, or you bring him on. Like he's probably not someone you want to be relying on if you're trying to finish in the top 4 positions. And an Almiron's obviously his form has dipped massively. You tried to get rid of him. I just think you could have done with someone. Well, I think you boys know you need someone there, but you know it would make a big difference to how you're looking going forward. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I say I wouldn't mind. It's not really for me to say, but I don't know why. Like, why could Willock not play on the right wing?
It has been spoken about, like not within the club, but just within the fan base about someone else playing there. Like, I think if we wanted someone to play there, it'd be Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes.
Barnes. I've forgotten about. Yeah, of course, Barnes. Yeah,
he's a left winger, and him and Eddie Howe said it. Barnes and Gordon both want to play on the left. Neither of them want to play on the right. But actually, if you want your best front three,
you've got to play Barnes,
Barnes and Gordon in the team, and one of them will need to be sacrificed to play on that right. And I hope that that's the case at the weekend, because unfortunately, Murphy is so inconsistent. He'll have games where he just has a blinder and everyone's like, where the hell did that come from? And then you'll have Miguel Almiron that will run for you all day, but technically in the final third is massively inconsistent. He doesn't cross the ball. His shots are either amazing and they go in the top corner, or they go 10 yards over the bar. Like,
what's that Asula like from Sheffield United, you boys' son? Has he played much? Could he maybe go there, or is he not really a wide player?
He can play wide, but
who's been your best player?
Is that true? That's got to be better than Almiron, because Almiron's been on the decline big for like a while.
Charlie, don't see Charlie. Look, see, you're saying this now, yeah, for this guy to just fucking have a guy.
This guy will start on Sunday and he'll score twice. This or honestly,
like, it's like Eze's barely had a fucking.
Eze had one shot on target this season or something, and it was a goal against us. Yeah,
goal against us, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It'll just be our luck, you know. But who would you say has been your best player then, Pete, this season? Because like I said, I need to watch some of your games back. I'll be honest, yeah. I've barely watched your games this year. Only one full game. Who would you say has been your best player this season?
Your boy, Lewis Hall.
Really?
He's been pretty good.
That's quite a turnaround, isn't it? Because he weren't really playing much last season.
No, that was the plan, and that's the plan as well with Asula. Got to get his name right that time.
But no, Dad is right. Is that Eddie Howe's plan was always to bring him in like gently and progressively. Asuda's going to be the same way. Tino Livramento was exactly the same last season with Hall, and now ultimately they're both the fullbacks starting for Newcastle United. Trippier is out until after the international break, so it will be Tino Livramento and Hall as the fullbacks. But Hall has been playing really, really well. You could argue to other players, Dan Burn. People don't really rate him because it's Dan Burn, but actually he's been playing really well.
He's okay, yeah.
He's had a good season so far. And Nick Pope has been a game changer for us. When we had the Bradford in goal, we were shipping goals for fun. He's a big part of the reason why we've only conceded 8, because he's made some big saves for us this season. And he just adds that solidity in that back 5, should we say. So there's an argument for any one of those players that we've just mentioned to be up there. But what is absolutely clear is our attacking players are nowhere near being the best players for Newcastle United so far this season. Yeah. And that's the thing that's really letting us down.
So what is it then, Pete? Like when you say that, because you said the other day you created a lot of chances, is it just individually these guys are just not at that level? Like at the minute, would you say, Daz, like what is it that's the problem up there? Like, are you just missing a lot of chances? Are you not creating enough over the past few games you've seen? What is it that's not making your attack click right now?
I think It took a while for Gordon to get going into the start of the season. He's only starting to get going now, and I know you have him in your fantasy football team, and you probably
I took him out. I took him out weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up the pace.
Well, a little new contract in the pocket as well. Maybe he's going to start delivering.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
He nearly ended up at Chelsea.
Yeah.
At the start of the season, we're playing really poorly, but getting results, and then we start playing better and not getting results and can't score. So it is it's a difficult one to figure out. It just needs to click, and I think if it clicks, we can go on a bit of a run. And
is that goalless in the last two games, or was there one in between? Because it was Everton was 0-0, and then the 1-0 Brighton. Was there a game in between them two? I can't remember. So no goals in the last two.
Break.
What are you guys like on set pieces as well? Because you've got some height in your team.
Mate, if you just get a ball in the box, you pretty much got a good chance of scoring against us.
This is the issue.
That's the bit.
You got some big lads though. Dan Burn, like Gimaresh, Brute, like what's his name? Joelinton's a big unit as well.
Honestly, don't start.
No threat from set pieces.
Look, the one thing I'll say to you is that we get a hell of a lot of set pieces, and I know Harper's laughing at that because he's saying set pieces. What are those? Now, what I will say to him is we get a lot of set pieces in matches, a lot of free kicks, a lot of corners. We tend to get a load. We do absolutely nothing with them. Absolutely.
Oh, we'll probably gift you something then. That's normally what we tend to do.
You would look at it. We've got players that are
you got guys that have got a good delivery on them. Plenty of guys in that team have got good delivery, and there's plenty of height in the box as well. So, yeah, it kind of surprises me that you say you're crap at set pieces.
We've got no attacking headers though. Dan Burn is 6'7", but he's a great defensive header, but he's not a great attacking header. And they're two different things. And this is the thing that I keep stressing. Being a good defensive header of the ball is not the same as being a good attacking header, because you have to attack the ball in a different way. You have to head the ball in a different way. So like Shaw, I think is a much better attacking header of the ball. He gets into spaces, but he gets on it as if he wants to score. Jamal Lascelles, who's injured at the moment, he's the best. He scores goals from corners and free kicks all the time. Isaac's quite tall. I think he's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, Shaw pops up with a few.
Yeah, he does. But the problem is that a
Thunder
lot of
bastards for long range.
He does. But a lot of our set pieces are aimed towards Dan Burn, who's not a great header of the ball. Joelinton's 6'3". He's not a great header of the ball either. And so you've got all these tall players, but if they can't head the ball properly,
it's useless, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, I'm hoping the fact that you and Don have brought up the fact that, certain players aren't playing well, Gordon and Isaac. You've touched on the fact that Asula, what is he doing? He's even going to play.
I was a bit more respectful than that.
No, you were. But the point I'm making is you're bringing all these things up. And I'm just hoping that one of these comes to fruition. So I'm hoping you're going to give us some good luck, Charlie. This is what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just never know. I mean, like, in theory, I know football's not one on paper, but like in theory, like we should be winning this game. I don't say comfortably, but we should be winning this game, given how we've started, given how you boys haven't had the best of starts. But we are one win, and we've only won one of our 4 games at home this season. Drawn to both Forest and Palace. We beat Brighton, obviously we lost to City. So, it's not a given. It will be tough, and I think it will be close as well. But I mean, I don't think you guys have got a particularly good record at Stamford Bridge. Surely it's not as far back as this. I think we spoke about this before, Pete. Is it the Cisse? Is it the Cisse wonder goals? Is that the last time you boys won that in the league?
Yeah.
We talked about it.
That's a long time ago now, isn't it?
Wild, absolutely wild, mate. The fact that
I didn't realize it, but then again, our record at your place is not great either.
No?
So, it just seems to be one of them, isn't it? Like we seem to have your number at our place, and then you boys have definitely got the better of us at St James's.
So, what's the bets that we beat you on Sunday, and then you beat us on Wednesday? Something spectacular like that.
Yeah, you never know.
What would you rather? Win on Sunday?
I don't know.
or win on Wednesday?
I
For all of us.
I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
But yeah, but is the win? Is it? Can we have a draw on Sunday and take the win on the Wednesday?
That's what the Clonard wants as well.
No, that's not the agreement, Charlie. You got to win one. Is it the winning on Sunday or winning on Wednesday? Which one are you taking?
That's tricky because I would probably take the win in the league because I think we are going to win a cup this season, hopefully with a Conference League. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. That I'd probably say just Sunday, but I would like the Wednesday as well.
Wait, hold on, Charlie. You're only trying to pick one of them.
No, bro. The question is right. If you could only win, if you could win on Sunday or Wednesday, so if you could win the league game or the cup game, which one would you rather win? You can only win one.
That's a mad question.
It's tough, isn't it?
That is crazy. Who asked that question? Was it you, Pete?
You know what? I don't know who asked the question.
No, just generated.
It's a tricky one.
Obviously, with the league, it's like, okay, if you lose, you still got another how many
30 games?
29 games
Yeah.
to go. So you could potentially pick it back up. But it's like we've just lost to Liverpool. We lose to Newcastle at home. The narrative starts to change a little bit. Chelsea, same old, the mentality, they haven't changed. But then if you get knocked out of the cup, it's like you got to wait till next year, And last year we got to the final of this competition.
Yeah, we did.
It's a hard question, man, because it's hard. I'll probably say the league just because there's a lot more games. I'll probably say just because there's a lot more games to come back. Yeah.
I'll probably.
What you go for?
I hope they concentrate on the Conference League and let us loose in the League Cup. I don't know. I did think about this 2 days ago. What would I rather? It's so difficult to pick. So I'm going to sit in the fence.
I'm going to say cup.
You boys need a trophy, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely for that reason alone, we just need to win a trophy, and in knocking out one of the favourites for the competition, because you guys have won it a lot of times. That would, I think, hopefully spur us on.
And in theory, it's the easiest trophy to win. I know it doesn't always. In theory, because it's the least amount of matches to get to the final. So in theory, it's probably the easiest one to win. And
nobody ever thinks about that, Charlie. We talked about it on the channel last year because we obviously played you guys in the quarterfinals, and it's like everyone, for the Newcastle fans, there's more of an emphasis on the FA Cup, but actually the Carabao Cup's the easiest one to get there.
Yeah, and it gets you Europa League football as well.
Yeah. So winning that trophy.
Oh no, it gets you Conference League football. Sorry, I don't get Europa League. It gets you Conference League football. Yeah,
FA Cup gets Europa League.
Yeah.
I don't think I care. I genuinely don't.
It gets European football, isn't it? So
if we're literally killing two birds with one stone, because we're getting the alluded trophy that we've been waiting for, and on top of that, we're guaranteeing European football in February before the season's already out. That I think would completely just calm everything in the club, because that's what we're waiting for. The fans are now waiting. We're producing a team that's better, that's fighting at the top end of the table. Now I think the fans are just waiting for a cup. They're waiting for a cup. For you guys, it's different because you're serial winners of trophies, or have been for many, many years, 20 plus years now, 30 even, because you're winning trophies even before Roman Abramovich.
Yeah,
mate, that's what people don't realise. That you speak to some people, they think, "Oh, Chelsea just only started winning in 2004." No, we did win a few bits before that.
Mate, we were basically a top 6 team. That's what we were.
Yeah, exactly. We're winning cups. Yeah.
But you got to remember, with YouTube and social media, a lot of those fans that question you probably weren't alive in 2003. So therefore, they wouldn't have thought about what's happened before. Where you're looking at the old boys over here.
I mean, I was young. I don't really remember 2003, but obviously I've done my research. You know what I'm saying? Premier League years as well.
Don't do that.
Premier League years puts me on. I'm telling you, bro.
Mate, that was the lockdown research.
Yeah.
I've got something we can all agree on, right? You can only win 2 out of 3. You lose to Chelsea in the league. You win in the cup. Newcastle win in the cup, and they beat Arsenal. We could probably all agree on that one.
Oh yeah, I'd rather lose. Yeah, I'd lose this one to beat Arsenal and win the cup. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
We need to beat those gremlins, bro. We need to beat them. Honestly, I can't stand them. Yeah, but just reminding myself of our games last year. Like obviously we played you in a cup. Mudryk had to come on and save Poch. Trippier, big mistake to send us to
Yeah, bro, there was a penalties, wasn't it? Yeah, we just scraped through.
Got us to penalties because this comp goes straight to pens, isn't it? It doesn't go to
no extra time, only extra time in the final.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember Badia Shield done a madness for Wilson's goal. I remember that because I was at the bridge for that game. And then when we played you lot at the bridge at home, we beat you. That, again, Mudryk had another good goal.
Was it 3-2, wasn't it? It was 3-2 that one at the bridge,
3-2, Cole Palmer scored, Mudryk scored. I think, was it Gallagher that scored as well?
Might have done. And then we got absolutely battered at St.
Palmer. I'm sure
Palmer scored. Yeah, Palmer scored from outside the box. I remember he just hit it with his left.
Yeah.
I can't remember who scored the other two. Mudryk scored the third goal when he like ran past a couple players. I can't remember the first one.
But then we got hammered at St. James's 4-1, didn't we? With Reece getting sent off. Yeah, that was a bad day.
That was after international break, 4-1. Yeah. That was a shocking performance.
Shocking.
Isaac and Gordon were on fire then.
Yeah, they just got torn apart.
But you pressed us off the park, man. You battered us. The thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, with us at the bridge right now, we actually tend to play better away. And we keep conceding at the bridge as well. This is the problem. Like, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet against Newcastle. Like, I know you've said, you know, you've been struggling to score and whatnot. But right now, my team still leaks goals. Like, our defense is improving, but you can definitely still get at us. And what worries me as well, like, even though we've got a new set piece coach, is you guys in the air, bro. Like, your height. Our team isn't that tall. We're not that physical either. You know, obviously you've got Tosin, you've got Badishaw, you've got Vega, but they don't all start together. That's the thing.
Mate, I don't think none of them will start on Sunday. I don't think.
Nah, it'll be Colwell and Fofana back in the lineup as well. You know, but in terms of the build-up play, like the way we beat the press, because you guys press, and that's going to play straight into our hands. You don't just sit back, right? When teams sit back, I'm seeing us starting to beat low blocks a lot more. Like what we saw against Forest. I know we didn't score more than one goal, but look at how many chances we created in that game, right? The way Newcastle plays, it plays right into our hands, Pete, because the way we play out from the back, bro, that's very, very impressive, bro. Very impressive today. Some of the patterns I was seeing today in the second half against these guys was brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. I'm like, whoa, how the fuck did we get out of that? Do you know what I mean?
I said this to you, Don, and like you might have like took it maybe that I was like messing around or joking, but in the chat, I said this to you right at the beginning of the season. That with the signings that you've made and the squad that you have, third should be the target. In the Premier League, third should be the target for you. And I meant it. And people thought I was messing around, and I wasn't. With the team that you've got, I looked at the team that you put out tonight, and you're right. If maybe one or two, if not any of those players are going to play on Sunday, you're going to put a brand new 11 effectively out on the pitch, bar maybe one or two. And so that team that you had out tonight that won against Panathinaikos, that team can win the competition on its own. Without your main Premier League starting 11, even touching the field, like that's a sign of huge strength. And this is the thing. And talking about just before, because I want to get the lineup, so I want to see what your 11 will look like, and we'll do it in a second. But this is the thing, Daz, for us to consider as Newcastle fans, is that actually the team that we play against on Sunday might not be the same team that they put out on Wednesday.
Oh, no, we'll make probably another 11 changes on Wednesday,
So ours are going to have to go to the well 2 games in a row within 3 days, whereas their team will be a completely fresh new team, effectively, if they want it to be. That it can effectively be their Europa League team, Europa Conference League team that they put out on Wednesday. And it's still a strong team. It's still a team that will be massively competitive against us. And that type of strength, I don't think many teams in the Premier League, bar maybe one or two, have.
You're already seeing it. You're already seeing it. Like, Arsenal have the smallest squad in the league. They've got a lot of injuries. You know, people laughed at us about, you've got 40 players and that. We never had 40 players being registered into the squad. Like, that was never going to happen, right? And now everyone looks at us jealous, thinking, yo, Chelsea can make 11 changes, right? And play the exact same way and score a lot of goals. You know, right now we're loving life a bit, Charlie. You know what I'm saying? We're enjoying what we're seeing. We're enjoying what we're seeing right now, bro. I can't lie.
Bro, we're scoring goals. Remember there was times not that long ago, bro. We celebrating scoring. We scored 1 goal in a whole month. Not so long ago. So now we're getting like 3s and 4s.
It's starting to click. It's clicking, and that's the danger for everybody else.
Getting there. We are getting there.
Definitely.
We're getting there, man.
But look, let's have a look at the lineup. So look, your squad's here. I think I've got everyone. You know what? I think I've got everyone in your squad apart from the young lad that came on, George, who looked.
Oh
really
yeah, he won't be in the squad.
No, but he's not in the official squad. But I tell you what, he looked good.
Yeah, he
And
looked all right. Yeah, he looked sharp. He looked sharp
Tonight.
We just gave him a new contract as well.
Typical. 8 year, 9 year.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a long one.
I'm not surprised. But look, boys, you boys do this together for your lineup and formation. How are you seeing this on Sunday? How are you seeing it?
Pretty much how he set up most games. I think the only question, there's probably only, I mean, Don might disagree with me, I don't know, but there's probably only two questions here. Does he stick with Lavia and Caicedo, or does Enzo come back in? Or does he play Neto or Madueke? For me, I think those are the only two things. You could possibly make an argument for Mudryk over Sancho on the left-hand side following tonight, but Mudryk played 90, so does that mean he's going to start again on Sunday? I'm not so sure. But those are probably the only selection dilemmas, I'd say.
I actually think he'll start Lavia and Caicedo for this one.
Yeah, I think he probably would as well.
Just to add a little bit more physicality in there, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be Sanchez in goal, yeah, which is it's a bit of a downer, but it is what it is, isn't it?
So Newcastle needs to fucking start, man, honestly. But it is what it is.
What's your back line looking like?
Well, mate, who do you think it's going to be? James or Gusto?
I think Reece will start this game. Because he's back in, he trained again the other day, innit?
Yeah, mate. They left him at home for this game tonight. So, I think if he started at Liverpool, he's going to start this one, isn't he?
Gusto got left at home as well. He could potentially, he started Cucurella today. Obviously, Cucurella's back from suspension. I reckon he'll probably start him again.
Yeah,
he's one of our, when you talk about experience in the team, he's one of our experienced players, bro. You can see that he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The Euros, man. Won the Euros in the summer.
European champion, yeah.
Even today, you could clearly see the difference in experience between him and the other guys on the pitch. I'll probably say, Fofana and Colwill.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Okay.
Fofana and Colwill. Then,
I think any weaknesses there, boys. I'm going to ask you, any weaknesses there? I'm trying to give us some hope, Daz.
Lack of height. I'd say a lack of height in the back line is probably a weakness. And probably a lack of physicality as well. They're not weak, but there's not much physical presence in that back line.
Yeah, Fofana's actually quite tall, but it's Colwill. Colwill's not the tallest for centre back. No. I think it's like 6'1".
Yeah, I mean, a lack of height is probably the weakness, and then it feels like obviously Sanchez's weaknesses are well known. It just feels like there's the odd mistake in this defence every so often. But I mean, generally as a unit, it's not terrible. But yeah, there are a couple of weaknesses in it that can be exploited.
100%. But yeah, what I would say is in terms of strengths, you guys are going to see how Levi punches it from the back, bro. The way he just plays it,
mad, isn't it? Yeah,
the passing from the back, the way he plays it in between the lines, the way he switches the ball, the diagonal balls at the bridge as well is very key for us because that pitch is small, it's tight. He just gets it and he just straight into the midfield, no hesitation. And then before you know it, got 5 players running at you. Say that again.
He's your Fabian Schär.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say we had that with 2 because we had Botman. Botman's going to be back in December.
Yeah.
Botman, that's the same thing that Botman does on that left-hand side of defence. Just breaks the lines with the passes. So we do miss that massively.
Yeah, Colwill, that's probably his main skill, I'd say. He's good. Like, he's good in the box in terms of the blocks. He's had some vital blocks for us this year. In terms of he's not that aggressive, I would say, but he does read the game quite well. I'm seeing it improving. But only thing about him, he can lose his head. Like what we saw against Liverpool, he has that in him where he just
rash sometimes, isn't he?
It can be a bit rash at times, But overall, he's been our best defender. Fofana, for a guy that just came back from a massive injury, has not lost any pace. He's still getting to his best, but he's improving. But again, Reece came back the other day and just looked like he hasn't been missed, bro. You know what I mean? He just slotted straight back in and just doing the things that we know he can do. So yeah, I'm happy with that back line. Hopefully they can play well. Obviously, going into the midfield, I think he's going to stick with Lavia and Caicedo. In all honesty, I don't think Enzo will come back into the lineup. Enzo played how many minutes today, Charlie? 70 minutes today?
70 odd minutes today, I think. Yeah,
something like that. I think he'll probably bring Enzo off the bench. Caicedo and Lavia, they weren't in the squad today either. They weren't there. No, and then obviously Palmer in the 10.
Yeah, he wasn't there either.
Yeah, we weren't there either. So you're Palmer in the
To
10.
be fair, from this team so far, only Cucurella played tonight.
Yep.
So
It's wild.
That's crazy, isn't it?
yeah,
It is. The strength in depth is
yeah,
wild.
and it'll be Palmer in that sort of 10 role ahead of them two, and then I still think he'll start Madueke. I know Neto got an assist tonight and he was good, but I still think
Neto looks
Madueke will
good,
play.
man. He looks good.
He looks good, but
I know we were linked with him.
do
Like,
you agree,
he's-
mate? I think Madueke will be on that right side. I don't see how he wouldn't be. I know there's a bit of a debate, but for me, I think I'd give Noni the nod on that one.
Potentially, he would have been a Newcastle player if he didn't score that hat trick.
Could have been. Don, would you start Neto on the left instead of Sancho?
Nah. I don't like him on the left.
Sancho.
I don't like him on the left, man. If you're gonna start anyone on the left, that's direct. I'd start Mudryk. Neto on the left for me, I think he's quite limited. I prefer him on the right. I definitely prefer him on the right because we saw him starting on the left. Charlie, you're forgetting.
No, we did. And then on the left, do you think it's going to be Sancho? I think he'd probably give Sancho another chance.
Yeah, I think Sancho will play. I think what it is, I wouldn't say another. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you want to put it like that, yeah.
Well, I don't mean as if he's been crap, but I mean like another chance to put it right after the performance against Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just don't think that was the game for him. In hindsight now, I don't think it was the game for him. We should have maybe just gone with one direct wing on the right and another direct one on the left up against Trent. But yeah, I think Sancho will start the game. Mudryk's in good form. He's got a little bit of confidence. I have to see him on the bench. I was very surprised that he wasn't in the squad
as well, mate.
You know what I mean? He should have been in the squad against Liverpool because he's actually been good this year. He's been good off the bench. Came on against Forest, put in a good cross for Nkuku. He came on against Palace. He had a better game than Neto. When he came on, he created a very good chance for Jackson. So Mudryk, he's got something to do, man. Obviously, he scored 2 goals against Newcastle last year, and he scored his penalty. So he seems to like playing against Newcastle. See, hopefully
he's just come off 3 GNA tonight. So you know he's got to get some minutes on Sunday. He has to, and then it'll be Jackson through the middle.
Yeah, Jackson up top, and he's sitting on 8 GA in 8 appearances.
Yeah, mate, 5 goals, 3 assists. Good start to the season.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a solid squad, man. That's a fucking brilliant. That's a good team. That is a very good team. Fuck.
Yeah, and the only player that played was Cucurella, and then everyone else is fresh. No one else. I mean, most of them didn't even travel.
And you look at that squad. You got Felix, Mudryk, Neto, Kunku, Dewsbury Hall, which until I watched tonight, I forgot even played for you.
He hasn't been making the squads. He has not.
He hasn't even made match day squads in the Prem. Yeah.
Chukwuemeka, Fernandez, Chilwell. Don't know what's happened with him. Gusto. All of these players that I'm naming are likely to probably Tosin,
isn't he going to be on your team?
He was close to signing for us. He would have signed for us. We had a journalist on, Sammy Motbell, who last night who reported on that deal, and he said he was close to that deal. And he said obviously financially and Maresca was a big reason why he changed his mind.
You boys were leading the race.
He was coming to Newcastle, and they said those two things changed the landscape. But Tosin not even in that lineup. Disasi, you've got strength in depth. That is for sure. But look, Don, I know you got to shoot, but just before we get the Newcastle lineup out there, what you predicted Sunday, mate?
Prediction for this game, I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea.
Okay, 3-1.
3-1 Chelsea. I think we're going to score a few goals, but I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. If we keep a clean sheet, brilliant. But I see us scoring some goals, man. That's a good team, and our bench as well. Right now, who's injured from your team right now, Daz?
Wilson being one. As
always.
He never played anyway. So
yeah. Miley's coming. Is back on the bench.
Trippier.
Trips, yeah.
He's injured.
He's injured, yeah.
But Livramento is probably better than him anyway.
Athletically, yes.
Yeah.
He hasn't really pulled up trees, has he?
Not this season. No, he started well the last few games since Trips got injured, and he's been assured of his spot. He hasn't done great. Like as I said, Hall is looking better, but Tino will come good again. He's our future on that right back spot.
He's been getting called up for England to take of that what you will. So he has been doing well, but I just think Trippier is technically better than him, whereas athletically Tino is far superior to Trippier. So they're almost each other's kind of strengths and weaknesses.
All opposites, yeah.
And so look, Tino's going to start, and that's the reality. And this is the kind of game, being that it gets to an next club where he'll probably turn it on and have a good game. We
Ooh, Fenerbahce just scored. Fenerbahce just scored. 1-1. Yeah, man. Well, listen,
please tell me it's ASM.
No. It's their striker. They just scored a header.
Oh,
in the first half, Onana made some mad double save.
And Nasiri.
Yeah.
Player.
They're going crazy right now, people. But listen, I enjoyed that, man. I wish I could have been on here a little bit earlier. Pete, I'll give you a shout for a little preview on my channel. Daz, love every time. Charlie, love every time. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, man.
Don, you going on Sunday?
I'm gonna try and get a ticket.
Oh, I'll see you there if you do.
All right, cool. In a bit, boys. Love.
Nice one, mate. Nice one.
Man. Take care.
Nice and done. ASM got the assist. Nice one.
Yes. Love
you boys could have done with him. You boys could do with him this season.
I don't think we want to open up that can of worms, Charlie.
No. I'm just saying. You know, you got the Saudi connections. Surely you lads could have got a loan deal from where he was, Al Ali.
Yeah. Well, he got an assist tonight, but apparently he wasn't creative enough for some fans. But in his last season, he could have quite easily walked away with 13, 14 assists had our players put the ball in the net. But that's another conversation for another time.
He was always injured though as well towards the end of it, so it was frustrating as well.
That was that. Daz, come on, Newcastle United.
Yeah, okay, great. Popey in goal.
Yes,
we have no other option. And Popey usually does well. Okay, we've got Tino as on my right back, as we just said.
Yeah, hold on. There we go.
And let's go for Schär, Byrne, and Hall as well.
By the way, does Kelly just not play? Is he just crap?
No, Kelly's good, and it depends who he's up against. But
has he played much this season? I swear, whenever I watch Newcastle, he's never playing.
He's had a few games. He got an assist against Tottenham for Harvey Barnes. He's played. I think he started against Bournemouth. He came off the bench and did well against Southampton when we were down to 10 men. I'm trying to think of some other games where he might have come on. Like he's played some games. I think he start. I think he started against. He started against Forest, I think, in the Carabao Cup. I'm just trying to wrap my brain in terms of he's played minutes, but ultimately Hall is a better choice right now. Playing with confidence, and ultimately just playing better. Kelly's just got to step up. He's got to step up. He's got to show that he deserves a shirt. It's simple as that, really.
Yeah, no, fair.
You know what would be interesting here if we played 5 at the back with the wing backs, Hall and Tino up bombing on.
Not bad shout, guys. Not a bad shout.
An interesting option.
Playing it like this, so playing it really difficult because both Tino and Hall can play wing back. Playing it as a
can't see Eddie doing that, but it would be interesting.
That would be an interesting setup. Okay, hypothetically, let's just throw it out there because I think how would the midfield look?
Okay, so 5-3-2 then. So go with the same. Go with. We're putting Tonali in there now. In the are we putting Tonali in the holding position now instead of Bruno? Or are we putting Bruno in there?
I'd maybe stick him still on the right for now.
Stick him where he is. Okay, so put Bruno in his usual slot and J7. Yeah, I know there's a lot of calls for Sean Longstaff, but Sean Longstaff on the bench for me. I trust it this way. And then 2 up top. This could be very interesting.
Gordon and Isak, surely.
Yeah. Well, and have your boy Miggy off the bench then, Charlie, to finish off.
Well, yeah. I've been sort of said he's crap. He's probably going to score on Sunday or something.
I'd take that. I'd take that all day. But
I mean, that too.
that's not a bad. That's not a bad setup potentially for a game away at Stamford Bridge. It'd be nice. You know what? Whether it happens or not, I think it would be nice to have a different setup for Eddie Howe to go into this game, looking at this game, because this is not an easy game. It's easy. It would be easy to just go in and match up Chelsea, but we've not got a good record there. But going in there and just setting up to go, right, we're going to be difficult to break down. We're going to try and hit you on the counter with pace of Gordon and Isak. We know Livramento and Hall are good attacking fullbacks that can deliver a good ball, have got the pace and the athleticism to get back and forward. And then you've got the running power and the athleticism and quality really on the ball of the three here. Joe Linton, Bruno, and Tonali. I don't know what people in the chat are saying because I can't see the chat, but
But Todd is in. Todd is asking. He's asking how much for Isak. Is he for sale? No, no, Todd.
No. I think if you're gonna pay us 150, 160 million, then it might be a conversation.
Chris is going 5-2-3.
5-2-3, so he's gone with it. So he effectively,
he'd probably go Gordon, Isak, Barnes, wouldn't you, and just get rid of one of them midfielders.
Ideally, that wouldn't be a bad shot at all. Is having Barnes in there, but which midfielder are you getting rid of? Like this is then the other question.
He probably benches. Would you say Tonali's most likely to miss out if that was the case?
I think it'd be incredibly harsh for him to be on the bench.
I'd rather the other way, 5-3-2. Because it also, like at times, you know how Isak does look isolated up on his own, just having Gordon there with them and the connection with Hall and Gordon, I think this could work. But I still can't see Eddie going for something like this. But if he needs to mix it up.
So let's go back to, let me just take him off. Let's go back to the team that we think it will be. So the back five and the midfield three will look like this. We think that Gordon's going to play on the left, Isak in the middle. Who are you going on the right? In your thoughts, Daz? Because
I know Chris is saying Murphy is same as Brighton, but I want to try something different. And I don't know about Barnes either on the right. In the past, I would have said put Barnes on and let Gordon and Barnes alternate through the game. Do we just try something different again? Do we try a Miggy? Throw Miggy in there. I'm just trying to come up with different ideas to keep it a bit fresher, and honestly, then having Barnes as an option.
Honestly, I think he's got a shout of starting. I genuinely do. And you know my thoughts on him. I've been adamant since last January, since the move to Saudi broke down. That I thought Eddie Howe's making a point of not playing him. He's now second, third choice. I wouldn't be surprised if he's had a couple of decent cameos. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets given the nod, just for his work rate and his ability to maybe conjure up something. But I'm not against what the Clon lad said. He's put in there playing J7 on the left. So if we're doing this, if we're doing it, I wouldn't be against this happening. Tonali's
5-2-3.
No, same formation, 4-3-3. Tonali's played excellent for Italy on the left hand side, and then you bring on another midfielder. So it could be a Longstaff, it could be a Joe Willock, it could be a Miley. I put Longstaff there because he's probably more likely. Like you could easily bring Joe Willock in there as an option. Lewis Miley is an option, probably less likely, and maybe Joe Linton, because Joe Linton likes to make that run. That Shaw plays that cross ball into that area. Joe Linton loves to make that run in and behind. You know, he's someone that physically can combat Reece James in that blockade of attacking lines here. I wouldn't be against him playing that role. I really wouldn't. I think that's a decent setup too, and it isolates Gordon because he's not playing on that left. But actually, Gordon, if he can run at Cucurella, which he's got the beating of, and just be direct and just whip balls into the box, that's what Isak needs to get on the end of. That's what he thrives on. And it's a different type of setup. People might argue because of Longstaff. You can put anybody there. Put Willett there, Miley there, Longstaff. But I don't know. What you thought about that?
You know, I don't know what we're coming to the conclusion that Eddie needs to do something different. He like whatever it is, he needs to do something different that's been happening in the last few games. Just to tweak it to try and to get better fortunes. I wouldn't myself have Joe Linton there, and because our two best left wingers are Gordon and Barnes, and you're playing none of them there. So that's probably why I wouldn't put J7 there. But I don't think he should try something different and not go with the exact same as Brighton.
It's gonna be an interesting one.
Well, Charlie, in your opinion, you saw us go through a couple of different formations there. What worried you the most?
I don't know. Probably something with Gordon and Barnes and Isak as a front three has got to be the most worrying. I would say. But as I say, you guys haven't really been scoring that many goals. So I mean, that's not going to carry on. That's not going to carry on forever. But
Barnes is our top scorer, Charlie, and he's on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. I mean, yeah, I'd probably say anything with Barnes, Isak, and Gordon in the front three is definitely the most worrying for me.
Would you say that's our strongest lineup there, positional wise and player wise?
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting for last week. I know we went with Murphy in the end to the final, and that's why Eddie went with it as well. But I'd be playing Barnes and Gordon, then having them switch over mid game. If we have to stick with 4-3-3, if we have to go with something totally different, go for that 5-3-2 formation.
Let's wait and see. It's going to be interesting. But look, how do you guys play with Charlie? Just before we come off the tactics board, how do you guys play? Where do you hurt teams the most within your setup, and where will you look to exploit Newcastle on Sunday?
I think wide areas we're obviously a threat there. The wingers have been very good this season. The likes of Madueke, Sancho's been decent last game aside. And then Cole, I mean, that whole front four really causes problems. Madueke's got decent. He's got 4 goals this season. Palmer's 6 goals, 5 assists. Jackson 8 GNA in 8 games. Sancho 3 assists in his first 5 games. So everyone's contributing in that front line. Madueke's direct. Him up against Lewis Hall could be an interesting match. Sancho and Livermore on the other side. Jackson causes teams problems. He's a nuisance. He's a handful. He runs in behind. He creates space for others. That Caicedo Lavia pivot is on the basis of the Anfield performance looks very, very good. So yeah, I think we're kind of a threat all over the pitch. It just depends if we've got our shooting boots on or not. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to build up from the back. Usually someone inverts into midfield. It'll probably be Cucurella inverting into midfield from left back, becomes a back three. Reece drops in as a right centre back. We've got threats everywhere, but again, as Liverpool showed, if you can nullify Cole Palmer to a degree, then it does make us a little bit less effective. There's no denying that. Obviously, we're not as reliant on him as we were last season, but yeah, we've seen Cole Palmer was completely just marks out the game pretty much on Sunday. Whether you're going to have someone, whether it's going to be Bruno Guimaraes who's just going to sit on him and just man mark him for the game, I don't really know, or a Tonali or whoever it might be.
As Daz mentioned, because that's where Tonali played.
Yeah,
Brighton at the weekend. He just sat
probably,
in.
Yeah, if you can keep Cole Palmer quiet, that's definitely going to help your chances. But the supporting cast have been stepping up this season, so if Palmer does have a bit of an off day, it's not a complete disaster.
It's going to be interesting, Daz. From the lineup that you can see there, where we're going to get the joy for Chelsea against Chelsea.
Where are we going to get the joy?
What can you see from Chelsea's lineup where you think we might be able to get in?
I don't. With the way it is. I think if we try something different, though, and I think either some slight changes in personnel or a formation change, we might get a different outcome. Otherwise, draw or loss here at Stamford Bridge. But I think we have to try something different.
It's going to be interesting. I agree. I think maybe a change of formation, a change of setup will be something that might make the difference in this situation. But we can only wait and see. We know what Eddie Howe's like. He likes to keep to his style, keep to his formation. But something different may well just give this team a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a jump. We need something different. We need to see a win. We need to get a point on the board. We need to do something that's going to create a moment. But I think there's a few Chelsea questions in there that we could throw at Charlie.
Look, we have to go for this one from Mr. Chris Hall. We wouldn't listen to him, so he did a super chat. Great show, boys. Chat, please show your support. Hit that like button. A question for you boys. Name your top 4 in order as it stands based on the start to the season.
City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Okay. Liverpool, Chelsea, yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you. What I'd go for: City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Yeah, I'm with you. 100%.
Yeah. As right now, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a slight bias there because Villa are actually looking very, very good. But yeah. I'd just give us the nod.
I would say sorry, go on, that's one.
I'm going to go Liverpool, unfortunately. City, Arsenal, and Chelsea.
Ooh, Liverpool to win the league.
And Newcastle in 5th. Go on.
Oh, Villa fans will be screwing at that. But you know, Charlie, you made an interesting point about the Villa situation. I would say they're going to probably get to the next phase of the Champions League.
And they look even better than they did last season. They're a very good team.
They are. But I think in terms of you and Villa together, because you've probably got more winnable games and you're able to switch your whole 11 on a Thursday, it's going to keep your players fresher for a longer period of time. So when games get clumped together, you're able to chop and change and keep everyone fresh. And that could be the difference. That could maybe set you guys apart for getting Champions League football. But equally, with the English teams playing as well as they are, 5th place is the season that could get Champions League. So I think both
you never know.
Although I do agree with Daz, I do hope that we finish in 5th. But the way we're playing at the moment, it's not looking likely at all. No. What other questions are out there?
Yeah, one for Foxy, and I think it was before you come on, Charlie. But he asked about thoughts on Caicedo. A lot of jokes from people over the feed, but he's been great this season, showing what he's always been ever since his days in Ecuador. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah,
Charlie?
He's a superb footballer. Look, he had a little bit of a difficult start last season, protracted transfer saga over the summer, pretty much missed the entire of the pre-season, took a little bit of time for him to get up to scratch. But then over the second half of last season, you know, he started to put in some good performances. And now under Maresca, he looks like a bit of a player reborn. And, you know, you're seeing the player we saw at Brighton and a bit more. You know, he's everywhere. He's box to box. He's even got a bit of creativity in his locker as well. You know, assist for Jackson against West Ham, assist for Jackson at Anfield. He gets stuck in, he wins the ball. He's the modern day Kante with a bit more finesse in the final third, I'd say. He really is an outstanding player. And I know people laughed at the fee and whatnot, but I tell you what, like on the evidence so far, I promise you, this will turn out to be a top draw signing for us. And I promise you, no one will be speaking about the money come the end of the season.
We saw Harry's in the chat as well. This Harry, with the loaded shirt. So great to see you in the chat, Harry, and you're rocking that. We give a shout out there last night as well. Go back and watch that if you haven't seen that Harry. But still rocking that loaded t-shirt. Nice one. Charlie, another question for you. Again, comes from Chris Hall. Are you boys pleased that you kept hold of Nunny? Is he going to stay in the first team with the likes of Mudryk and Neto breathing down his neck?
No, he's done really well. He's again another player that when he first come, he started a little bit slow. Even last season under Poch, there were a few issues at the beginning, but then back end of the season, he come up clutch in the run-in, some important performances, scored a number of important goals for us, and he's kept his place in the team under Maresca, and he's been brilliant this season. Yeah, he had a couple of quieter games against West Ham and Brighton, but on the whole, the hat-trick at Wolves, he scored an important goal against Forest. He's been a general threat on that right-hand side. He's made his England debut now, and credit to him. The likes of Neto's come in, the likes of Sancho have come in, but Nonny's got his head down and he's in the team on merit. And right now, his performances are keeping him there, despite Neto putting pressure on, despite Mudryk putting pressure on. So yeah, no, I'm delighted for Nonny. He's done really well, and he definitely deserves it. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
I agree. I didn't
agree. We didn't agree at one point, but he's stepped it up.
I was a little bit unsure at times with him, but I think now he's showing that, yeah, he's a good player, and he's more than good enough for this level.
Yeah, he's won me over to a point. I need to see him do it over a full season.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm convinced on it, but he has shown really good moments. Fair play to him.
This one from William Smith, the Newcastle Laredo one. What changes do you think Eddie will make between Sunday and the cup match? None.
Maybe same team. Same team.
Maybe small tweaks.
Longstaff, maybe.
Maybe give Lacademus a go, lads.
No. That cannot happen. I think Longstaff, Kelly, maybe as a two, maybe coming in. If Miggy doesn't start, maybe he throws in Miggy for that game. Yeah, I think that there's a few. Yeah.
Do as Lisa says as well, smash that like button, people, from earlier. That is it, more or less, from the questions. Just for Tom's one, we know he's going to score loads, just hopefully not against us, Mr. Cole Palmer.
Definitely. Well, look, we'll get down to predictions. I'm going to go for my prediction. It's a hopeful prediction. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm hoping we're going to get a point. I'll be honest with you, I'm not confident, which makes a change because I normally am with regards to previews. I'm not confident in this game, but I'm going to hope that we get a point on the board. So I'm going to go 1-1. But Daz, in fact, Charlie, we'll come to you. What are you thinking?
This will be a tight game. As I said earlier, we've only won one of our first four at home, so yeah, we need to do a little bit better at home. I think we've got the quality to do it. I'll go for a narrow 2-1 win. Okay.
And Daz, what we going for?
If we go 4-3-3 and stick it more or less with the same personnel, or both, we lose. But if Eddie takes on our suggested tactic of 5-3-2, we get a 1-0 win. There we go.
Yeah. Well,
Keith roll two answers.
yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Tactics may well change the course of the game. So let's wait and see. Jordan Team for Life going for a 2-1 Newcastle United win. I know Chris Hall went for the same. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one for sure. But look, get your predictions in as we wrap up the show. Put them in the chat. But massive thanks to Charlie. Thank you for joining us.
Charlie.
Where can people find you? Where can you find Blue Brothers CFC, mate?
No, pleasure as always, guys. Just literally Blue Brothers CFC on YouTube. Heading towards 14k. So yeah, if you want to help me get there, it'd be greatly appreciated. And you can catch me over on Chelsea Fan TV as well if you want to check out maybe me being happy or depressed after the game on Sunday. You can get both potentially. So you can head over there as well.
Definitely. We'll be tuning in to make sure you guys do as well. And big thanks to Don as well. Don's got his channel. We'll put that in the messages and in the tweets after the show, so you can check out Don.
It's hyperlinked as well on the show, so both channels are hyperlinked. So click on and subscribe from there.
Get involved. Look, people, we're out of here. Match preview done. Let's hope that Newcastle United can turn a new leaf and pluck out a win from somewhere. Not looking confident on it, but let's wait and see. Yeah, I think we'll just hope and pray coming up to Sunday 2:00 kickoff.
Night, everyone. Have a good one.